What's poppin' YouTube? Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time on this channel and you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for future content. In today's video, we're going to be taking a closer look at Disney Pixar's Luca Funko Pop set. I really like this movie. It's on Disney Plus right now. And we'll also do a little review on the film as well. So let's go ahead and get this one started. So currently, Luca is available on Disney Plus for free, which is crazy because they've been doing the premiere pass on Disney Plus for $30 where you can watch the movie and it stays on the app. So I did do that for Raya and the Last Dragon as well as Cruella because I do love Emma Stone. I actually did enjoy Cruella, and I also did enjoy Raya and the Last Dragon, but that one was a little too predictable. But Mulan, the live action, is the only one I passed on the premiere pass, but thankfully I did because I did not like that movie at all. Now Luca, I enjoyed just as much as I enjoyed Soul, and those two are Pixar films and they were both free on Disney Plus, which is crazy because I definitely would have paid the $30 because I love Pixar. Now, they're both in the mid-tier for me in Pixar overall. We have a total of 24 films now, and I do have a list in order of my favorites to my least favorite, which I'll share with you in a bit. But for now, let's go ahead and share all the Luca Funko Pops. Now, we're going to start with the first one in the set. We have Giulia with Machiavelli. And I actually do really like this pop. It's really cool. And I must say, I'm not a cat person, but this cat is one of my favorite cats in all of Disney and Pixar films. If you guys haven't watched it yet and you guys watch it, then you'll understand why. He is absolutely hilarious. But this pop's really cool. And what's really cool about it is that the cat is actually attached to Giulia, which is crazy because usually they do have a little buddy pop, but they did actually stick them together for this one. Take a look at the box art. On the backside, we have all the characters. What I really love about the box art is you have Luca and Alberto sea monster versions under the water. But right above them, you can see that they have the land versions along with Giulia. So I really like that they did that for the box art. But the pops look incredible. Next pop I want to share with you guys in this set is the main character of the film, Luca. And here we have the sea monster version of him. The reason I want to start off with the sea monster version is because that's actually how he starts off in the film. But this movie had a lot of similarities to The Little Mermaid because he's very curious about living outside on the land. However, once he actually steps out of the ocean, he does become a human just like this. And I gotta admit, Funko nailed it with these pops. They did such a great job. A lot of awesome details and they look exactly like they do in the film. But Luca is a really cool character. I actually like the personalities of all these characters, but I will explain more in just a bit. So in the ocean, Luca makes friends with another sea monster, and over here we have Alberto. I think Funko did an amazing job with the sea monster versions of both Luca and Alberto. And just like Luca, Alberto does become a human once he steps out of the land. Now he's kind of like the troublemaker of the film, and I think he's actually my favorite character of the movie. Really hard for me to decide because I do like all the characters and their personalities. But Machiavelli is another really amazing character. So it didn't really matter whether if they were in the ocean as sea monsters or if they were on the land as humans. The story that was told between the friendship of Luca and Alberto was definitely a great one and very much enjoyable. But like always, Pixar films have beautiful animations, and that's what I love about Pixar. But this one's story was good enough to make it in the mid-tier of my top favorites. So far we have 24 Pixar films. This one is right about the same level as Soul for me, but I'd say Soul is just a little bit better just because overall quality, storyline, and visuals, everything. But the one thing that really stood out to me a lot about this film with the visuals was the transition they had from sea monster to human or human to sea monster. I thought they did a great job with the scale work on their skin. That was just beautiful and I enjoyed that a lot. But the characters are great, the personalities of the characters, and just everything. But now we're gonna go ahead and go over the list of my top favorites from 1 to 24 for the Pixar movies. Now, if you guys have been on this channel before, it's pretty obvious how much I do love Disney. I've always loved Pixar just as much, even before Disney did buy them. Right now they have a total of 24 different films. And the one thing I've always loved about Pixar is their animations. It's blown me away from beginning till now. And even their least favorite movies for me, I've still enjoyed them. So storyline has always been great. Their characters, their artwork, everything. I've loved Pixar. Now, number 1 for me on the list from 1 to 24 has to be between Toy Story and Toy Story 3. I can't decide, but I have to say just by a little bit, Toy Story 3 is the winner just because I could relate to it a lot. Going from childhood to adulthood, and it's just really relatable. And I'm not gonna lie, this movie did make me tear up in the end. And a lot of Pixar movies have made me tear up. That's one thing I have to admit. A lot of them are really good at getting to your emotions. Not all of them have made me cry, but a majority of them have definitely made me cry. So it's pretty obvious with my answer for number 1, what we have coming up next for number 2. Of course, it has to be the start of all Pixar animation studios. We have Toy Story 1. I was actually a kid when I watched this movie. Obviously, I had toys that I played with and I had a great imagination. I actually had a feeling, I was like, what if my toys actually talk and move when I'm not there? So before we actually share number 3 on the list, there's one thing I want to mention about Pixar movies that I've always enjoyed, and that's their hidden Easter eggs. So in Toy Story 1, for the very first time, we get introduced to these things. The Pizza Planet truck, Luxo Ball, as well as A113. Now, all 3 of those things have been in every single Pixar film from number 1 to 24. Check it out. So how awesome is this? That they've been able to do this in every single Pixar film. And sometimes it's really hard to notice, but if you pay close attention, you will be able to catch all of these details, and I thought it's always been something that's really enjoyable. Now we're gonna go ahead and move on to number 3 on the list. Now this movie, a lot of people either love or a lot of people hate. Me personally, I think this is one of the most beautiful creations Pixar has ever made. And this character is actually my favorite of all Pixar films. And we have WALL-E going up for number 3. For number 4 on the list, we have a Pixar movie that I think almost everyone would be placing in their top favorites just because of the popularity. And honestly, it is one of their best creations. This one is one that makes you tear up in the first few minutes. I have yet to be anyone say that they did not tear up with this movie. And that's right, I said in that sentence, number 4 is going to up. This one is definitely one of those tearjerkers that I mentioned in the beginning. Number 5 on the list, we have another movie that I'd say a lot of people would easily say is one of Pixar's best. This is another big tear-jerking movie. We've got Coco up for number 5. This one did a great job with telling the story of Dia de los Muertos with a story told by Pixar. And I think Pixar did a wonderful job with this one. Great animation, great characters, great music. That was one of the best parts about this, the music. A lot of Pixar movies don't have characters singing, and this one did, and I absolutely enjoyed it. For number 6, we have a Pixar movie that also had a prequel, and I did enjoy the prequel, but I still like the original more. This one was super cool because of the world that Pixar created. All the characters were super original and really, really neat. We've got Monsters, Inc. as number 6 on the list. Toy Story 2 comes up next as number 7. Believe it or not, this movie actually has one of my most favorite scenes of all Pixar movies, and it was so pleasant to watch. And it was this scene over here. I think this was definitely one of the coolest scenes of all Pixar movies. And this character is actually part of a Pixar short, Gary's Game. And he's playing chess with himself. What an awesome short. This is one of the oldest Pixar shorts. And I've always loved all their Pixar shorts. My absolute favorite one has always been the one for the birds. But this short was also great. And it was really cool to see him in Toy Story 2. So for number 8, I have a sequel which might shock a lot of you guys, and that is because of one specific character that I absolutely loved, and it is Hank from Finding Dory. Now, I love Finding Nemo, don't get me wrong, it was a great film, but Hank was such a cool character, and the story that they had for Finding Dory was also really good. So I say Finding Dory is actually one of the few sequels that I enjoyed more than the original. Next, for number 9, we have a movie that a lot of people would enjoy watching with their family. It is really, really relatable. A lot of great scenes, a lot of comedy, really cool world that they created, and it is The Incredibles. I absolutely love this movie, and I love going to California Adventures because they have a ride based on this movie, and the ride is super fun. Up next, for number 10, we have a movie that I'd say is one of Pixar's most underrated. I absolutely love this movie, and I think it's one of their greatest as well, and it is Ratatouille. What a great story that they have. So it is based off of a rat that likes to cook. That's his passion, and that's what I love so much about this movie. He has so much passion for it that he doesn't care what anyone says, what anyone thinks. He wants to cook, and he's going to cook. He's going to be a chef. Little chef. I love it. So other than Toy Story, there's only one other Pixar movie that has more than just 2 movies, and that is Cars. Now, the very first one is one that I put in number 11, just because I really did like the story that they made, the characters that they have, the personalities they gave those characters, and the world that they had for Cars. I thought it was really neat. But I'm not gonna lie, the other 2 Cars movies are not so high on my list. Coming up next for number 12, we have Inside Out, which I'd say is easily one of the most in-depth and thought-out Pixar films. A lot of thought was put into this one for sure. And this one's definitely one of the more complex films. A lot of younger kids might not understand it. But overall, I think this was one of the most enjoyable Pixar films, and it was another tearjerker for me. Now we're pretty much in the middle of the list, and over here it did start getting really difficult for me to narrow it down just because a lot of these movies I do love equally. But I did mention a sequel for this one already. So number 13, we're gonna give it to Finding Nemo. Now, Finding Nemo did make me tear up in the first few minutes, but I wouldn't say it's a heavy hitter like Toy Story 3, Up, or Coco. Those three, I would be shocked if you said it did not make you tear up, even just a little bit. Number 14 on the list is another super complex Pixar film with a lot of deep thoughts put into it, and it is Soul. Now, this one, I feel like, just like Inside Out, a lot of children might not understand it and enjoy it. I personally love this movie. I feel like it was super relatable as an adult, and I thought the story was awesome, the characters were great, and I just enjoyed the animation a lot. So this one is definitely right in the middle. So now we're at number 15 on the list, and I'm gonna have to give it to the latest Pixar film, Luca. Shortly, we will be taking a closer look at the pops out of the box as well, but I had a really hard time deciding which one I actually liked more, Soul or Luca. After some deep thought, I said Soul is just a tad bit better, but overall, I'd say they're both pretty equal. So now we're at number 16 on the list, and this one I'd say is another super underrated Pixar film. Yes, it didn't make it too high on my list. That's not because it's not a great movie, it's not one of their best ones, but it's because the ones I listed before this, I just enjoyed a lot more. They hit me a lot harder. But we have A Bug's Life taking spot number 16. I really like this movie, and the story is super cool. Now, I don't like bugs personally in real life, but this movie actually makes you realize how tough it is to be a bug. Number 17, we have a prequel film. Now, this one is really enjoyable, but like I said, just the same thing about A Bug's Life. There's just way too much competition with the Pixar films that this one did not make it too high on the list, and that is Monsters University. I really did enjoy this movie. It was really funny, super fun to watch. Just like Monsters Inc., a really great story, but there's no way I liked it as much as I enjoyed Monsters Inc. For number 18 on the Pixar list, this is another sequel that a lot of us had been waiting on for a long time. It was awesome to see the family return. The Incredibles Part 2, and honestly, my favorite thing about this movie had to be Jack Jack and the raccoon. That was definitely one of the most funniest Pixar scenes of all time, and I really did enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie, it really did hurt to put this one so low in the list just because I absolutely love the originals. But Toy Story 4 is number 19 on the list, and that's because I feel like Toy Story 3 was a perfect close, and Toy Story 4 was just not necessary. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I liked the movie. I enjoyed Forky a lot, super funny character. But overall, I feel like they definitely did Woody wrong in this film. Now, Bonnie begged for Woody in Toy Story 3 from Andy. Andy said, "You could have him, just take good care of him. He means a lot to me." What happens in Toy Story 4? As loyal as Woody is to his owners, which was Bonnie at that point, Bonnie basically treats him like trash just to make herself a toy out of trash, which was Forky. Like I said, I love Forky, he's funny, but I feel like they definitely mistreated Woody in that film. For number 20, we have another sequel, and that is going to be Cars 3. And the reason I put this one so low on my list is because I really enjoyed Cars 1, and I feel like Cars 2 and 3 were not as enjoyable and as impressive. So before Luca and Soul, we did have another original film brought to us by Pixar, and that was Onward, which I'll be putting down as number 21 on the list. Now this one, I feel like the story was just not the greatest. It was just okay for me personally. I did like Ian and Barley as characters, but the only thing that really impressed me about this film was the fact that their father was able to show his expressions with just the bottom half of his body. Now we're at number 22 on the list, and this one I'm gonna have to give it to Brave. A lot of people do like this movie. I personally feel like it was just not the greatest. Merida is actually the only princess from Pixar, which is kind of weird because she's not really a Disney character. But I feel like I got different vibes from the trailer than what we actually got in the movie. So it wasn't really what I expected, and at the end, I was a little disappointed. Now we're going to number 23 on the list, and I have to say it's The Good Dinosaur. Just like Brave, I expected so much after watching the trailer. I was actually really excited for this movie. I thought it was gonna be awesome, but out of everything, I only really liked Arlo and Spot. They had some cute moments, but the storyline, I just didn't feel it like most Pixar films. Now we're down to the final Pixar movie on the list. Number 24 goes to Cars 2. Now, I absolutely enjoyed Cars 1. I still liked Cars 3, not as much as most Pixar films, but Cars 2, I just did not understand the purpose of it. Once again, here is the complete set of Luca Funko Pops. We're gonna go ahead and get them all out of the boxes for a closer look, so let's go to get to the magic in 3, 2, 1. And they're out. Here we have a closer look at the Disney Pixar Luca Funko Pop set. I think Funko nailed it with these. They look exactly like they do in the film. And let's go ahead and get some 360 spins. Here we have Luca himself from Disney Pixar's Luca. This is him on the land, and I think this actually came out really nice. Funko really did a great job. Next up, we have Alberto. Now this one, I think Funko did a really cool job with it just because of his posture. His hair came out really cool too. but I feel like it suits his actual personality really well. And then over here we have Giulio with Machiavelli, which I think came out really great. It's kind of interesting because they are attached as one single pop. Usually they have the pop separate as a buddy, which I would have preferred because I really love Machiavelli. Over here we have the sea monster version of Luca. Now this figure, I think Funko did an amazing job. I love the design, the colors, the details. This one looks really, really great. And then the last figure we have in the set is the sea monster Alberto, which I think is probably my favorite pop in the set. He is probably my favorite character in the movie too, so I think it looks great. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as always. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for future content. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have watched Luca. What do you guys think about it? Did you guys enjoy it? Did you guys pick up the pops? Also, let me know which of these Pixar pops were your favorite ones that I shared in today's video. And if you guys have seen every Pixar movie, which one is your favorite and why? I just want to say thank you guys so much for taking time every day to watch this video. Let me know what you guys would enjoy seeing in the next ones. Thank you all for watching and peace.